Crush 40, comprised of Johnny Duali on vocals and Jun Sonoe on guitar, is a band that's been around since 1998. And while they certainly haven't taken off to be very huge, they still mean a lot to many Sonic fans around the world. Particularly for me, with them being the first rock band I ever listened to. They introduced me to the rock world, and if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have discovered Green Day, Sum 41, New Found Glory, Bowling for Soup, and so many more. Not to mention Hardline and Axel Rudi Pell, both of which have Johnny as their lead singer. And one thing that's always caught my attention about the band is their live performances. Being Sonic the Hedgehog rock stars, they've had quite a lot of performances all over the world at all kinds of events. And as someone who personally doesn't listen to studio songs all that much, these live performances are always interesting to me and mean a lot to me. There's something absolutely incredible about live performances in general. Being able to feel the raw energy of the band, the crowd coming together as one to chant along the lyrics in the background, and to know that everything, every single sound and every noise you're hearing is being produced right there inside that room, as the sound bounces around the walls, almost pushing equipment to feedback. You can feel that energy and the power of the band through live performances in a way you just can't without. There's just something there that's just not in studio. There have been some horrific Crush 40 performances, and we'll get to that, but most of Crush 40's performances are pretty great. Although their playing style is rather rough, they always rely on a backing track to fill in the backing vocals, and Johnny loves getting the crowd to sing a lot and often skips a lot of lines. Not that I have any problems with that though, and in a way, the rough, relaxed way of just get the crowd to sing quite a bit is just a nice reminder to you that everything you're hearing is being created right there, and that it's a real live performance. There's nothing lip-synced or anything like that, it's all happening right there. And every single time Crush 40 does a show, there is always consistently an insane amount of content of said show that has never seen the light of day for basically no reason. Entire concerts that have just vanished into thin air, audio CDs that aren't complete, videos that exist but have never been made public, videos that used to be public but no one backed up. Oh, I will be getting to that. I swear, Crush 40 has so much unreleased media, they might as well be MTV. So sit back, grab some popcorn, because I'm going to take you on a quick journey through Crush 40's live history. And along the way, you're going to learn some very interesting things about the band, and live shows in general you may not have known. It's going to be pretty fun. It all started in 2008, at the Tokyo Game Show 2008. This was Crush 40's first ever concert as they started it off with a bang. This entire concert got full, professionally recorded IMAG video for it. What's IMAG, I hear you ask? Well, IMAG is something that's going to come up a lot later on. Oh, trust me, it will come up. You know how at big concerts they have those huge screens so you can see all the action on the stage up close? Well, those screens and the footage shown on them is what's known as IMAG. IMAG stands for image magnification because you're, magnifying what's happening on the stage for the people there. TGS 2008 wasn't exactly a big show, but it had IMAG video. Here's a crowd recording of the show. You can see that IMAG video on the screen behind them, shot with full-on professional grade cameras. So that's a pretty good start to their live shows. One show in, already being captured with pro cameras. So, do we get to see this IMAG footage? Well, it is IMAG, so it's not really supposed to just be watched. It's there to be used on the screen as the show happens, that's the whole point. But Crush 40 was actually sent the IMAG video for one of the songs, Night of the Wind, because that was the new song at the time. And wow, this video is quite something. Just take a look at this.
Greatest storm. I know, you have waited much too long. And I will be your shining star. I'm here.
Whoever was in charge of making this IMAG video was going all out with the effects. They were absolutely going for it. This is the trippiest thing I have ever seen in my life. It's kind of funny to think of these cameramen carrying these gigantic cameras, purposely twisting and turning and stuff to create this super high energy twisting and turning video. I love this style of video, and it's impressive that they went to these lengths just for iMac, just for the screen. It's very high energy to match the music. And this is iMac, so they edited this entire thing you're seeing here on the spot as the concert was happening. That's pretty impressive. That being said, I think they may have taken the high energy a little too far. It's a little hard to see just what the hell is going on sometimes here, but hey, whatever. Unfortunately, Night of the Wind is the only iMac video released publicly. That full-on professional iMac video for the rest of the concert? Yeah, it's never been released. Someone somewhere at Sega almost definitely still has it recorded, but it's sure never seen the light of day publicly. Thankfully though, what has been released is soundboard audio, and that is a very important thing. Just before I talk about that, however, since this was Crush 40's first show, how good was the performance? Well, it wasn't too bad, really. It could definitely be better. One thing that does stand out is Johnny messed up a lot of the lyrics, which is to be expected because he's said time and time again he doesn't know them very well. That's why at all of their recent shows, he always has a teleprompter in front of him. A lot of people noticed that on the 25th anniversary livestream in particular, and said, ugh, Aaron's reading off a teleprompter. No, it wasn't there for Aaron, it was there for Johnny. It's his teleprompter because he just does not know his own band's lyrics well, and it shows quite a bit here when they didn't have one. Anyway, what was I saying about soundboards? Ah yes, just in case you're not aware, when you have all the raw instruments, it takes the sound straight out of the microphone, and takes the guitar and the backing track and all of that, and it mixes them together, and then sends them, all mixed together, out to the speaker. It's this thing that has a bunch of sliders on it and knobs and stuff, so you can mix all the different individual things together perfectly. Now, something you may not be aware of, when you have an official video of a live recording, like say a DVD or a live CD, some people really think that they just dump a microphone somewhere in the room and that's what you hear. But no, that would sound awful, probably distorted. That would basically be a crowd recording. No, most professional live videos take the sound straight out of the sound, and that's what you hear. This is known as soundboard audio, straight off the board, audio for this show, which is awesome. Someone recorded the sound coming out of the board. It's pretty bad quality, but it is soundboard audio. As for the Pro iMac video though, yeah, that's nowhere to be seen, it's lost. There is a crowd recording from above that has the whole show though, and you can see some of the screen in that there. And dear God, if you thought Night of the Wind was trippy, just... oh, they really went for it. So that's kind of a shame, but hey, first performance, right? Things can only go up from here. Well, actually no, 2010 is home to the worst performance Crush 40 ever gave. Oh god, it is horrific. But just before we get to that, let's first take a look at the second show they had in 2010, Summer of Sonic 2010. There's not really much to say about this show. There are plenty of crowd recordings, but there's definitely no iMac to speak of here, and I doubt any of the staff recorded any soundboard audio, so this is probably just permanently lost, in a professional capacity at least. That being said, there is a fan-made video of the show created by RMO5, who's been working with me in the long process of trying to find and preserve the lost things I mention here. I'll talk more about that and how you can help out too at the end of the video though. So let's move on to the worst concert Crush 40 has ever done. Well, actually not quite Crush 40. Johnny wasn't there, it was just June. This show was Tokyo Game Show, TGS, 2010. Just like TGS 2008, they had iMac 2, so still doing things with huge professional cameras. But this time, it's significantly less stylized than the last one. It's a lot more normal and less frantic and trippy. And unlike TGS 2008, they did officially livestream this event to the public. They put a camera at the back of the room and livestreamed from it. I mean, okay, it's better than nothing. I would have liked them to have at least used the iMac video on the stream, but sure. The sound in the stream is soundboard audio though, which is good. Anyway, the entire event was live streamed, and unfortunately, only some of that live stream has been uploaded onto YouTube. But don't worry, I got my hands on the full, complete stream for you guys to enjoy. as I do. So with that in mind, let's check out this horrendous performance. Now, Johnny wasn't able to make it to this performance, so they got this other singer in, and, well, I have no idea who he is, but his performance...
Take off with the speed of sound. Bright lights, colors all around. I never felt this way. I'll keep on loving. The sky will fall apart. Be with your heart and always take it with you right from the start.
Ouch, he barely even knows some of the lyrics. I can't tell if the terrible performance was a problem with monitors, which is what lets the band hear themselves, or if it's something else. He keeps reaching up to his ear as if he can't hear himself. But yeah, it's hard to say what exactly happened, but just listen to it.
And I'm gonna reach for the stars tonight.
This is the worst performance I've seen in my life, in fact. I don't know if I even want the official IMAG video for this performance. So let's just move on from that onto 2011, I guess. Now, 2011 is a very important year for Crush 40. This is the year where they finally establish their main venue, and it's the year where they finally start cranking up the number of live shows they do. This year was home to 3 shows. They did another TGS show, and in fact this is the last TGS show they did in quite some time. Then they did Sonic Boom 2011 over in Los Angeles, and then there was a very important show in Crush 40's history. So important, in fact, they literally wrote a song about this show. That's how important this show is. And the place they performed this show would go on to be a very regular venue for the band. Let's start with the TGS show first though. So, it's the same deal with this one. There's IMAG, it's the same place, whatever. And, as usual, we don't have that awesome Pro IMAG. It was never released. God, it's so hold on, excuse me for a second. Wait, what do you mean the event was live streamed? I don't see a single mention of the live stream anywhere. Wait, hang on, wait, what's this? The live stream had the IMAG video on it? What? Hang on, no, wait. There's no video or mention of this live stream anywhere. What do you mean there was IMAG video? You're telling me there was professionally recorded video of this concert, streamed to the public, and there's nothing left of it? Okay, in all seriousness, I did manage to find a recording of this mysterious live stream. And when I say recording, I literally mean recording. Are you serious? Who puts a camera to their monitor to film a live stream? It would have taken you 2 minutes to at least use a screen recorder. I mean, listen, this is the only video I could find after hours of searching for this stream. So, I mean, thank you to the person who recorded this for at least saving some of my sanity, but like, this is all that's left of the stream. Oh, and don't worry, because it gets even worse. When I found this video, my mind exploded. There was pro video of this concert released to the public. Surely someone recorded it. I just don't understand how no one could have backed this stream up properly. So I did even more digging, and you will never guess what I found. I found the entire live stream of the event. The IMAG video of the entire event was streamed, and I found it. Except this one performance. I'm not joking, I literally found the jackpot. Absolutely everything that was live streamed was available from a VOD source, except this performance. I don't even know what to say. The thing I find so unbelievable is this was out there. This was available publicly, and not one person in the planet got any sort of proper recording of it? This is driving me insane, and I can't believe the VOD had everything but this on it. And the only reason it doesn't have it is probably just by pure accident. I could see how they accidentally didn't include it, because this concert was the last thing in the event. There are actually forum posts from 2011 of people asking where the VOD was. And to answer your question 10 years later, I think it may be gone forever. Ouch. Before I go insane, however, let's talk about the contents of the stream. So remember how TGS 2010 was Crush 40's #1 worst show? Yeah, this was their #2 worst show. Yet again, there was no Johnny here, and instead it was the lead singer of Cash Cash, a band they teamed up with around this time, doing all the singing. And yet again, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's nothing like the level of shenanigans we saw in the last one, but it's not that great either.
Looking around every turn. Trust your feelings, gotta live and learn. I know it's someone that will make it through. Got no other options, only one thing to do. I don't care what lies ahead. No time for guessing, follow my plan, it's true.
One of the biggest problems with this stream is you can't hear the guitar at all in the stream. It's so quiet. In fact, that might even be the entire problem. When listening to a crowd recording where you can hear the guitar, it certainly doesn't sound anywhere near as bad, thanks to the guitar roaring away too. But in the stream, you just can't hear it. It's just a bunch of drums, vocals and bass, and it's very awkward.
Show off, don't criticize. I'm just living by my own feelings.
It's possible the guitar wasn't connected to the soundboard and they were just relying on the guitar amplifier to fill the room, and because of that, since the live stream is soundboard audio and there's nothing picking up the guitar, you can barely hear the guitar. Or it's also possible the stream got its own mix on the soundboard, it had its own mixing going on separate from the speaker, and that mixing was just terrible.
Sing it with me. It doesn't matter now what happens. I will never give up the fight. Long as the voice inside drives me to run and fight. Doesn't matter who is wrong and who is right. Woo!
Whatever it is that happened, the whole situation here is pretty miserable. Let's just move on from this show. Sonic Boom 2011. This was an event hosted over in the US and was the start of a chain of shows that Crush 40 would consistently make their way to each year. This time Johnny did make it and proceeded to give what I can hear is a perfectly reasonable performance. They also teamed up with Cash Cash to perform new Sonic Colors songs. All in all, this is a very solid performance, and it would be really nice to hear proper soundboard audio of this show. But unfortunately, no such thing has come out yet. This event did have IMAG video, as seen on the screen here, and no, this IMAG video wasn't released. It would have been awesome, but, you know, I guess the video is just better rotting away on someone's hard drive somewhere. And then we come to the last show, or to be exact, 2 shows. It was actually 2 shows one day apart from each other. And these shows are the big ones I described earlier, that got their own song dedicated to them and everything. And unlike all the other shows which were smaller parts of a bigger event, these shows were completely Crush 40 only. It wasn't part of some Sonic event or anything, these were dedicated Crush 40 shows. Hence the dedicated Crush 40 song that came later. Which, by the way, was so special, it literally became the title track of one of their albums, 2 Nights to Remember, about the 2 shows. Oh, and by the way, this album here plays a very important role in this video, but I'll tell you more about this album when we get to 2014. Oh boy, do I have things to say about this album and what it contains. Whew. But we're skipping ahead. Spoilers and all that. Anyway, these shows were done at a rather small little venue called Shibuya Live Stage Guilty. And this venue essentially became Crush 40's main go-to place after this. So, what footage do we have of these legendary shows? Well, it's a complete mess, but there is quite a bit of footage. Some very good and some, less good. All the footage we have was done at some official capacity, so we're more or less stuck with what gets released by the band. Let's start with the bad stuff. On the official Crush 40 channel, there's a video taken by some dude who works for Sega in the crowd. It's a 10-minute compilation video of some of the concert, and those 10 minutes are all they filmed apparently. It doesn't sound too bad for a crowd recording, and it's very nice to get to see the performance at least, but that's all there is to see here. There's also what appears to be a ceiling video of them performing Live and Learn. Live and Learn was actually featured in the other 10-minute video as well. So that's 2 videos we have of Live and Learn from the same performance. You know, if you're only going to record 10 minutes of video, could you at least mix it up with some other songs so we get a nice variety? No? Okay. One thing that's very surprising and impressive about Guilty is even though they are a very small venue and they hardly need IMAG, they do have a sort of IMAG video situation going on. Multi-camera IMAG no less, with 4 cameras. That's pretty decent, and some of this IMAG video was in fact released. We got Guilty's official video and soundboard audio of 2 songs from the second show. And, you know, the video's not too bad. Just take a look at this.
Like a fire, the feeling to resist it over time. When it's It's just too much to take you to sleep on the floor.
The quality is pretty bad. It's clearly not done with very good or expensive gear, and having raw soundboard audio like this is a little awkward, especially since there's no way for you to hear the crowd. But still, nice. Unfortunately, however, beyond these two songs, nothing else has been released from the screens of these two shows.
And now the sweat runs down my face. I put my heart into this place. I go back in time to see what I'm living in.
I'm sure Guilty still has it, although the longer time drags on, the less and less likely it is that they do, but they've just never released it. It's possible the reason why they've never released the rest is they actually charged the band for the video, which, you know, if that's the case and it's just down to money, freaking take my money right now, Guilty, I'll give you everything. And in fact, it's more than possible that's the whole reason why it's such fairly decent iMac. It's actually supposed to be bought by the band to release. Honestly, I'm really not sure exactly what the situation is here with the video. Maybe Guilty just can't be bothered to release all of it. I really don't see any reason why they can't just release it. So, I contacted Guilty in Japanese with a Japanese email address, because if you don't do that when talking to Japanese people, no one replies. Trust me, I've learned from experience. And I asked them what the deal is with the video. No reply. Damn it. Anyway, going back to the first show out of the two, there's also one other type of video as well, and this might just be my favourite thing out of everything we've covered so far. There's a group of people known as Team Afresh who frequents Guilty and likes to capture things going on there, free of charge as a sort of volunteer thing, and they made an agreement with June to film 3 songs, multi-camera, and edit it all together and send it to him. And they did it, and I think they did an excellent job. I think they managed to capture the energy of the show really well. There's a fantastic range of shots. I love how high energy it is. It's similar to TGS 2008, but it's done right in that it's not fading absolutely all over the place and impossible to see.
Well, I see no hero evil, black writings on the wall, unleashed a million faces, when one by one they fall. Well, I caught it evil.
And the way it's edited in sync with a vocal emphasis like this,
Feel time shipping down your spine. Oh, you're trying to ignore. Yeah, sing it.
I love it. These videos actually inspired me myself to look more critically at video productions. It's really a very nice piece of media, and it certainly had a lot of long-lasting positive effects on me.
Inside a corner 14. Can you remember me? Capture you, set you free.
Oh, and it seems Team Afresh even got into an agreement with Guilty as well, because they included some Guilty footage in their multi-camera video too, like this here. This is Guilty footage, and they cut to it every now and then in the multi-camera video. One thing that's really interesting to note is it seems like they actually told Guilty to only use one camera in their iMac video. Because if you look at the screens at the venue, which you can occasionally see in their amazing multi-camera video, it's always stuck on the back camera. So it's possible Team Afresh specifically asked Guilty to only stay on the back camera in the iMac so they could use that back camera angle in their multi-camera video, nice and clean. I wonder if Guilty left the iMac on that one camera for the entire first show, or only the 3 songs Team Afresh filmed. Because if they left the iMac on this one camera for the entire show, then Team Afresh really thrashed our chances at getting good Guilty video of the first show. But that's alright. The second show, as we saw, had the iMac firing on all cylinders there, so whatever. Anyway, I really wish there was more of this Team of Fash video, because it just looks so good, and I have absolutely consumed the hell out of the 9 minutes of video we already have. And, you know, there might be more, because I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have filmed more songs than we got. It wouldn't do any harm, and maybe they did film more than just those 3 songs. Honestly, I would love to see even a second more of this Team of Fash video. It just looks so good, I just wish there was more of it. In fact, actually, there has to be more, because out of the 3 songs they released, they only included half of I Am All of Me. And like, I can't imagine they all just decided, right, everyone put down your cameras halfway through I Am All of Me. I just can't see that happening. That definitely seems like it was done in editing, and there is footage at least of the rest of the song somewhere. Probably not edited, but there's still footage. And, you know, Team of Fash, if you ever sent it to me, I would more than happily edit it myself. The, like, one crowd recording we have of the show seems to indicate that they don't stop recording for the rest of I Am All of Me, and there is more footage to be seen, and I so badly want it. So, I contacted Team of Fash about it, using my executive Japanese email address that's totally not someone else's I asked to help me out or anything, and to my surprise, I did get a reply. Finally, this is like the first time in years someone has replied to me, I swear. To quote them, "I don't have the authority. The video has already been transferred to Crush 40, negotiate with them directly." And I did ask June on Twitter years back about the videos, and he said he uploaded everything they sent him. It's possible, however, that this was a mistake on my part, as I actually asked Team of Fash about 2 things in this email. One was this 2011 show, and another was a show they were involved in, which we'll get to later. So it's possible that they weren't referring to the 2011 show, and they were referring to the other show, which I do believe they sent over to June in full. Oh, and yes, June himself isn't exactly innocent in this not releasing stuff either, but we'll get to that later.
You'll never find your way.
Anyway, the 3 songs Team of Fash released were Half of I Am All of Me, Never Turn Back, and Live and Learn. Again, yes, this is the 3rd video of Live and Learn, so you can take your pick. You can have bad video 1, bad video 2, or awesome multi-camera video. I really don't need this many videos of the exact same Live and Learn performance, but...
If you beg or if you borrow right here, you may never find your way.
You know, I guess I won't complain, the more footage the better. So yeah, 2011 is such a mixed bag. There are those bad videos of the first show, there's those iMag videos of the second show, and there's the Team of Fash multi-camera videos of the first show. Yeah, what a mess. But I do appreciate all of it to some degree. Let's move on to 2012. This year was a very special year for Crush 40's live history, because this is the year they released their live CD album, and we'll get to that shortly. But first, let's get the other performances of 2012 out of the way. First up is Summer of Sonic 2012. This performance did get an official video actually, with soundboard audio, but oh dear god, it sounds absolutely dreadful. It is a terrible soundboard audio recording. The video itself is just some camera dumped at the back of the room. And the audio, well, it's soundboard audio, but...
Welcome everybody! How you doing?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, let's move on. Sonic Boom 2012. This is, in my opinion, the best Crush 40 and Cash Cash performance out there. The two came together at Boom 2011, but I think they really nailed down the setlist and cross-band routine at this show. And for the longest time, I really thought all we had of this show were crowd recordings, since that's almost all there is on YouTube. But then I bumped into this very interesting, official 2-minute recap video of the event, and I was very shocked to find that no, there is not only professional video of this show, but also soundboard audio too. This recap video intertwines some professional footage of the concert, with soundboard audio no less, in between all the different segments. Just have a quick watch of this.
In this movie,
Time is down, you can't hide. Find the power deep inside and make it happen. Make it happen, Sonic, Sonic, Sonic Boom.
Team Needle Mouse, you get this one.
Sonic, Sonic Boom. Sonic, Sonic.
I mean, the crowd's pumped, we're all jumping up and down, it's just insane, man, I love it.
Sonic, Sonic Boom.
They're mixing Sonic Boom in between all these segments. Now thankfully I'm not too mad about the fact that we don't have all the footage, because it's very clear that all the footage you see here was taken specifically for the recap video, and the full concert probably wasn't fully filmed anyway, only snippets here and there to be used in the recap video.
Sonic, Sonic.
But even then, they have so many different angles and shots of Sonic Boom in the video, I can guarantee there's a lot more footage than what we're seeing in the video. And I'm sure they had at least one camera filming the whole concert, probably this camera up here. So getting to see the footage from that camera would be so great too. And then when it comes to the soundboard audio, they definitely would have recorded the full performance. There's no way they wouldn't have. So that's just really sad that that's never seen the light of day. As I said, this is one of their best performances alongside Cash Cash, so it's a real shame we don't get to hear any of that audio outside of the recap video. So let's move along to the final performance, and this is the big one from this year. The live CD performances. This was a big deal. Yet again, just like the 2011 shows, this was done at Live Stage Guilty. And just like the 2011 shows, there were two shows. But unlike the 2011 show, both shows were professionally sound recorded and made into a live album. This album is an absolute beast and I love it. When you combine the CD tracks with the digital tracks, you get a monolithic 23 tracks worth of songs. That's the entire show. There's only one song missing, and that's a Hardline cover that they had to exclude for copyright reasons. It's so refreshing to finally get what is basically the full thing. After all these times we've been kicked down with only partial footage, this CD is finally a complete release without cuts. It's only audio, yes, but it's the full thing, and I'm so happy this exists. Since this was an actual live album, there are already plenty of proper reviews you can go and read, so I won't go too much into the performance itself. It follows the typical rough thing I was talking about, where Johnny doesn't fully properly sing every line and all of that. One thing you should be aware of is this CD isn't just soundboard audio. Everything you hear on this CD is actually its own dedicated mix. Instead of just recording the exact sound going to the speakers straight out of the soundboard, since this was a proper live CD, they went the full mile and they recorded every single thing going into the soundboard individually, and then afterwards went in and mixed it all together perfectly. This is known as a split track recording, and it's how all proper live CDs do it, because when they do this, they have a lot of flexibility after in how it's all mixed together. They can make as many tweaks as they want to the mix, nailing it down perfect because they have everything individually to mix in however they want. Also, unlike all the other live releases up to this point, they had actual crowd microphones for this show as well. Obviously it's super awkward when you can't hear the crowd because it's only the sound from the soundboard. So for the live CD, they set up microphones pointing at the crowd so you can hear them. Yet again, every proper live CD and proper live production does this. And they then mix the crowd sound in there using that. And I'm perfectly happy with the mix they came out with. It sounds perfectly fine. The only thing I will say about the mix is I think the crowd microphones are turned too far down sometimes. You just cannot hear the crowd during the songs because all the instruments and everything is just absolutely covering it up. And I can understand this decision. You're there to hear the band, not the crowd, and that's exactly why they did it. But it does make it so when Johnny gets the crowd to sing, you sometimes just hear nothing. Thankfully though, he doesn't actually get the crowd to sing as much as usual, because one thing you may have noticed me saying is this is 2 shows in one CD. How does that work? How is it 2 shows in this one live CD? Well, quite simply, remember how I said they have everything, all the instruments and such recorded separately? Well, this allows them to do things like take the best vocal lines from each show, and that's exactly what they do. Every single time Johnny says something in this live CD, it could be from either show. We just don't know. The vocals are constantly switching from one show to another, whichever got the line best. It's completely seamless because they have everything recorded individually, so they can cut the vocals from show to show while keeping all the instrument tracks from the same show and such. And what this means is if Johnny gets the crowd to sing a line in one show, they can, if they'd like, eyes how much actual singing there is. And that's exactly what they do to get the most singing on the album. So he gets the crowd to sing less for the pure reason the vocals are essentially the best out of the 2 shows. This is very common practice in most live CDs, and personally I'm completely fine with it. It's still live, everything you hear was still performed live in front of a crowd, so whatever. So yes, very nice CD. But of course, it's a CD. Do we have any video? Well, this concert was much less of a mixed bag than the last one. I don't think there's a single crowd video of this show in existence. Because they knew they were recording a CD, everyone just felt like there was no need. And there's none of the half-official disasters like this. But what we do have is the Guilty IMAG video for a few of the songs. Only a few of the songs, of course. Yet again, they never released all the video, although they do actually have an excuse to not release all of it for this show, which I'll get to in a moment. Anyway, we got 3 videos from Guilty's IMAG, all of which are using the audio from the CD. The first one is the live performance of His World, which is nice, I suppose. The second one is a 5-minute compilation of the concert. This was actually used as a promo video for the CD. It's just 5 minutes of random clips from the show. It's kind of funny how they included video in a promo for a CD that's not gonna have video on it, but sure, why not? No harm in it. And they also released a third video, and this one is very obscure. In the background of the One of Those Days lyric video, we can see the IMAG video of the One of Those Days performance. Yes, there it is in the background. Unfortunately, Crush 40 never gave us this video outside of the lyric video. So if you want to watch it, guess you'll have to try and look around the text popping up. However, while I suspect the lack of any more video is probably down to Guilty holding it ransom behind a paywall or something, there is actually a logical reason too why they couldn't just do a video release of this CD. Remember what I said about it being a mixture of 2 shows? Well, that poses quite a problem for the video, because unless you take the IMAG from both shows and carefully splice them together, which I can't imagine anyone, except me, ever bothering to do, some things are gonna match, and then some things aren't. And as soon as uneducated people see that, they would immediately jump to conclusions and say, oh, it's all lip-synced and faked, when it's actually just because it's a mixture of 2 shows. In fact, remember these videos I mentioned? Well, if you look really closely, you can actually see some lines sync perfectly in them, and then some slightly off. Take a look at this. Pay very close attention to Johnny's mouth in some of these clips. And they specifically chose clips where it wasn't obvious, and yet even with that you can still see it happening. So releasing the video to go alongside these wouldn't work too well, unless they made like an alternative version of the CD that's only the audio from one show so it matches up with the video. Or if they cut the video from both shows together so it all matches, which, you know, June, if you ever get your hands on the footage, I would more than happily do for you. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Anyway, even though we don't really get much video, I am definitely audio for so long, it would be so surreal to see the video to go with it after all these years. But still, it's so refreshing to finally have a full release of a show in some department. Minus the one cut song, but come on, it's one song, who cares? Are there probably cuts we don't know about in the CD, cutting out banter and stuff? Oh, absolutely. There's probably loads of in-between song stuff cut out of the CD, but at least we get all the songs, and that's what really matters. Let's move on to 2013. This was a smaller year for Crush 40. They did 2 performances this year, one of which has almost vanished off the face of the planet, and the other was Sonic Boom 2013. Let's start with Sonic Boom 2013. And I want to give you a warning, I may lose my mind a little bit talking about this. So, they did a performance at Sonic Boom 2013. It was only Crush 40 this time. Cash Cash started to decline into whatever this DJ thing is after this. I had seen crowd recordings of this performance before, but I'd never really paid much attention to it. It's just another show. At least that was, until literally only 2 months ago, when someone suddenly dumped soundboard audio of the performance online. Like, wait a second, wow, okay, that's very sudden. I wonder where they got that from. Oh, don't worry, we'll find out where they got that from soon, but I am definitely not complaining. So, I had a listen and, whew, it's definitely very raw soundboard audio. There's little reverb or anything to provide filling, which does make sense because you do have to remember raw soundboard audio is really supposed to sound good on the speakers, not right in your ear, which is why things like the live CD have their own mixing. Johnny's vocals are also clipping and distorted, which is really annoying, but I was still so surprised by this that I had to do something with it. I felt like it was my obligation to take this audio and just make something with it. So I created this mega project where I took a bunch of crowd recordings, multi-camera edited them together using the soundboard as the audio. I put a lot of work into this project, since, you know, there's obviously no professional video of the concert besides the clips in the recap video, and I put a lot of work into cleaning up the soundboard audio, trying to reduce the horrible ringing sound every time Johnny talks, and all of that. I did manage to add reverb to the vocals to make it sound better and hide any distortion, which is tricky to do when you don't actually have a split track and you just have soundboard audio, but I think the end result was fine. I created a nice little fan-made video.
We have waited much too long, and I will be your shining star. I'm here to conquer me. On the floor like the sun, I'm wrong to the key to take. Like the night, I fight until the fight is won.
But where did this soundboard audio come from? Well, up until 3 days ago, as of writing this script, I thought the whole reason this soundboard audio was even recorded was just so it could be used in the recap video. Because Sonic Boom 2013 also got an official recap video like 2012 that indeed featured a bunch of professional video clips. So I assumed that's why it was recorded in the first place. And then someone, probably the sound engineer, just leaked the whole thing recently, which I really wish more would do. But no, I was wrong. Oh, I was wrong. And a part of me wishes I wasn't wrong. So, remember the TGS 2011 performance and how it was live streamed and absolutely no one recorded it because people have problems? Well, apparently, exactly the same thing happened with Sonic Boom 2013. How? How do they live stream an entire event and no one backs it up? No wonder I'm obsessed with backing up absolutely every live stream I catch. It's things like this that drive me insane. You know the 30th anniversary symphony? While you were all watching that stream, I had a PowerShell window up on the side, ripping all the raw video as it came from the stream, just in case it got taken down. This sort of thing is why I'm paranoid about this stuff. So what this basically means is this entire fan project was a waste. Because there is professional video out there that was live streamed, released to the public. Are you serious? And this isn't like TGS 2011. There is nothing left of this stream. But I know it exists because there's people talking about it from 2013. The only thing left of this stream is a 3-minute clip of a Q&A without sound, and that's useless. How? Oh my god. There are 1 or 2 clips of the stream in the recap video, it seems. And from what I can see there, it looks pretty good. Take a look at this. That looks pretty cool, right? Well, supposedly that's a clip from the stream. And this is too. Like, It's the same with TGS 2011. It does exist somewhere, yes. Clearly the staff at Sega who made the recap video for Boom 2013 have it, since they were actually involved in the show. It's not completely gone, but good luck getting it off them. Neither of these streams are gone, but they're just impossible to get now, and they were out there. Oh, it just drives me mad. At least someone ripped the audio from the stream, which I assume is where this soundboard audio came from. But the video, I don't know. I don't know if anyone has it anymore. I just don't understand how something so big cannot be backed up. The whole thing is very depressing, and this year gets even worse. Crush 40 also had one other show in 2013, over in the Tokyo Game Show. And what footage do we see of his world? A video, I might add, that was very recently privated on the official Crush 40 YouTube channel, but that we thankfully backed up because, as I was saying, I'm terrified of losing this stuff. But then we also have 2 more videos, and they're multi-camera videos filmed by Team of Thrash. Again, yes, awesome. That being said though, it just doesn't feel as good as the 2011 show. I don't know why, I'm just not quite feeling these as much as I am the earlier one. We actually only used to have one of these videos. It was only very recently we got our hands on the second video from Team of Thrash. So that was cool. So, 2013 was quite a depressing year. But let's hope things get better. Right? Oh boy, we're finally here. 2014. This year held 2 shows. One show was this pretty cool show in Mexico City. And this show is the perfect example of how to do things properly. The concert was officially filmed by the venue. And they released all of what they had. Finally, someone has some common sense to release everything they have. The video isn't really that good, but it's something, and grade A for effort finally. They've given us something of all the performance, which is more than I can say for most people throughout this video. And the other show is the one I've been waiting for us to get to. So, just like the 2011 show and the 2012 live show, Crush 40 came back to Guilty, as usual, to perform another 2 nights. This time with some brand new songs up their sleeves. They had just recently started work on their 2 Nights to Remember album, with the title track about the 2011 show, and they set these 2 shows to essentially be in celebration of said album. Now, if we take a closer look at the 2 Nights to Remember album, you'll notice it's actually split into 2 parts. The CD starts with 4 brand new studio songs, and the rest of the CD, as much as they could fill, has a live performance on it. Which live performance? These shows were on now. So, yet again, just like the 2012 live show, this show we're on now was professionally sound recorded to go on the 2 Nights to Remember CD. And we're talking the whole ordeal again. Split track recording, all of that good stuff. It's basically live too. But here's the thing about the CD. It is still 2 shows technically, but unlike live, where it was mixing lines between the 2 left, right and center, almost everything on the 2 Nights to Remember CD was taken from the second show, with only the occasional line from the first show. And as a result, this CD is even rougher than live. But yet, despite that, this is the most important CD to me. I remember listening to this album again and again and again. I don't know why, I just really love it. I know every corner of the CD, and it just really means so much to me. And now, every single time I listen to it, it just takes me back, man. To those simpler days when I used to listen to this CD every single day. I care a lot about this CD, after listening to it so much when I was younger. And it's not even the full show. As I'm sure you probably remember, CDs can only hold so much audio. So when you consider the CD had to hold the 4 CD tracks as well, you end up with a miserable 14 live tracks. 14 performances I know absolutely inside and out, but that's barely half the show. And listen, props to whoever made this, because my god, did they hide it like you wouldn't believe. Some of these songs have the slickest transitions into each other I have ever heard, even the ones that have loads of stuff cut between. For example, just listen to this.
I love it.
That was quite a nice transition between the two songs. Now, let me tell you a fun fact. There was 15 minutes worth of content removed between those two songs, and yet they managed to flow them together on the CD like nothing. And the reason they're able to pull the transitions off so smoothly, where there's actually loads of stuff cut between them, is because they have split tracks, and they can overlap all the instruments in such a way that creates a perfect transition between the two songs. Very clever, and I'm very impressed they went to the effort to at least do the cuts in style. I can appreciate the work, but considering how special this show is to me, it hurts. It really hurts to know we only have the audio to half the show. And I know June has all of it in his possession as well. June has all the audio, and he's just holding on to it. So, how do I know it's only half the show on the CD? Well, for the first time in forever, someone did a full crowd recording of this show. Yes, a proper crowd recording with the whole concert. Let's check this out. Oh god. Well, I can't even see anything in this. And the sound? This is literally unwatchable. How does anyone record something like this? Seriously? I mean, thank you for recording it, because without you, I might never have known what was cut out and what wasn't, but man. So, yeah, it is technically a crowd recording, but it's barely usable. Anyway, someone by the name of Zutulem, I don't really know how to pronounce that, took this one crowd recording, and they took the CD audio, and they used the crowd recording to fill in the gaps. So what we have is a video, if you can call it that, of the full concert, and all the songs that are on the CD have their sound from there, and any songs that aren't on the CD have the song from the crowd recording filling in the gaps, which is just a distorted mess. Hell, even when they're just talking, the crowd recording is so distorted you can barely understand. It is truly atrocious. I don't know how anyone films this. It is interesting though, listening to some of the cuts they made on the CD. For example, they completely cut down this conversation at the beginning of Night of the Wind, which, again, when they have a split track, they can cut out easily without it being noticeable. Take a listen. This is how it sounds on the CD.
Alright. You think he's ready? I think he is.
But at the actual concert, this is what really happens, using the crowd recording to fill in the gaps in the CD.
Alright. You think he's ready? I think he is.
The crowd recording really reminds you just how good the official audio is, doesn't it? So, what video do we have at the concert? Well, for the longest time, we had nothing. You know, ignoring this thing. But then suddenly, in 2019, Crush 40 released the Driving Through Forever Ultimate Collection, and on it, they included a bunch of songs from this show with video. The DVD has other stuff too, so it's nothing like the whole show or anything, only a select number of songs from the show. So, what video did they put on the DVD? Is it the Guilty IMAG video, which, yes, there is IMAG video of the show? Did Tima Thrash volunteer to do another multi-camera video? No and no, but it was recorded by Tima Thrash. One of the members of Tima Thrash volunteered to record some footage. One. That's it. It's just one camera angle on the ground here. But hey, listen, after listening to the CD so much, and as I mentioned when I talked about live, it is still so surreal, even more so for this CD, to finally see the actions that match up with the sound. The sound alongside the videos is of course just the same as what's on the CD. And considering how almost all the CD is taken from the second show, almost nothing in the video appears to not match, because the video is from the second show. But unfortunately, there weren't that many songs included on the DVD. They included Down and Dirty, With Me, Live Life, Revving Up, one of my favourite songs by the way, Sonic Youth, What I'm Made Of, and I Am All of Me. Wait a second. I Am All of Me isn't on the CD. Wait, what? Yeah, no, that's not on the CD. And the DVD has the same audio mix as what you hear on the CD. I was blown away when I realised this song that wasn't on the CD was on the DVD. We just got the official audio here to a song that wasn't on the CD. This actually means a lot more than you think. This means they still have the official audio to the full show somewhere. And I can almost guarantee it's June who has it. You guys are holding my favourite Crush 40 show of all time for nothing. You guys are doing digital releases now. Put the full show in these digital releases like you did for live. I'm begging you. And June doesn't just have the audio, he has the Team of Thrash video of the whole concert too. Remember that email I sent to Team of Thrash earlier where I mentioned the 2011 show? Well, I was also asking them whether they had the full video of this concert, because I know they did film the whole concert. And they said, and I quote, everything has been sent to Crush 40. So June literally has all of it in his possession. Video, audio, the whole load, and he's just, I don't know. There are some other observations I made about the DVD. Every time the DVD cuts into a song, it almost always cuts in just a little before or after where the CD cuts in. Again, proving that they do still own the full concert audio without all the cuts. In fact, remember that transition I was talking about earlier? This one? Well, Sonic Youth, the second song, is on the DVD, and we can actually hear much more of the drum beat than we could on the CD without the guitar roaring away over it. Take a listen.
I love it.
Again, this proves that they have the full thing without any of the cuts or fake transitions happening. It's not like I Am All of Me was some special exception they specifically had to retrieve from somewhere. They were clearly working with a complete cut of the concert when making this DVD. So yeah, it's extremely disappointing to know that my favourite Crush 40 show is half missing for what appears to me to be absolutely no reason. There are things June could do to release it. If they want money off it, give it a digital release, just freaking sell the whole thing to me, I'll pay you £1,000. I know I don't sound as worked up about it as you'd think, and that's because I've had years to process and accept the fact that my favourite show might just never get released. It really does hurt though, and I've been trying to get through to them about this, but, well, yeah. Let's move on to 2015. 2015 was home to the Yumacon performance. There was IMAG there, but never released. You get the drill. That's all there was for 2015. Moving on to 2016. This year was home to Summer of Sonic 2016, which got an excellent, well, I shouldn't say excellent, but it got a reasonable live stream with fine mixed soundboard audio and 2 cameras, and it's fine. A lot better than the 2012 Summer of Sonic video. This is actually the second ever Crush 40 performance I heard. And speaking of the second Crush 40 performance I ever heard, 2016 is also home to the very first Crush 40 performance I ever heard. The Sonic 25th Anniversary Party, which got an official live stream that we all have and I've uploaded and all of that, as you probably know. And well, I made an entire video about what went wrong with that live stream. It was a complete disaster. So if you want to know the whole deal there, that video exists. But this live stream is actually how I discovered Crush 40 all those years when I was watching it. Seriously, this is how I discovered them years and years back. One thing that's interesting about the 25th party though, is there was actually IMAG at the event, separate from the live stream, with its own different cameras, which is really odd. It would have been nice to have seen some communication between the two, so perhaps the IMAG video could have been used in the stream. That would have added some nice variety, but okay, sure. Anyway, I think the stream is fine. Ignoring the fact that the vocals on Open Your Heart sound terrible with those horrible S sounds, which was fixed after Open Your Heart by a new interface. Again, see my video about the stream. And ignoring the fact that the mix is just not that good, and you can't hear the crowd, which is a recurring theme in a lot of these, it's fine. It's just fine. And the video certainly leaves a lot to be desired in quality because of the wireless problems they were having, but whatever. It's a stream that exists, everyone knows about it, it's been uploaded to hell and back, it's how I first discovered them, it's cool, it's at least something. Next up, 2017. This year was home to Too Many Games 2017, which I don't think had any IMAG or anything like that, so we have everything there is to see there. The show doesn't even have June in it, so there's really not much to see. Next up, 2018. Yeah, they really only did one show in 2017. This year was home to the Japan Game Music Festival 2:RE. Okay. And we did get one track from that show on The Works 3, but it was a non-vocal track. And we also got a video of the performance with Johnny, and that was a video of Watch Me Fly on the DVD I mentioned earlier. There is really nothing to talk about with this video. It's literally just this one camera, and it's not even soundboard audio or anything. It's basically a crowd recording taken by Team Thrash. Also, man, I have to say, Team Thrash is taking footage left, right and centre. Huge props to them for this, because without them, who knows what state we'd be in. 2018 was also home to a show at the Midwest Gaming Classic that just completely vanished. This 1 minute video clip here is the only footage of it. This is how we know it even exists. And that's literally it. Everything else just vanished. There was also another event here with a bunch of crowd recordings. Fair enough. And 2013 was also home to yet another Midwest Gaming concert that just vanished into the void again. There's basically no footage of it. And there's also a Too Many Games 2019 with a bunch of crowd recordings. Nothing to see here. On to 2020, COVID times. There was a performance done at TGS 2020 that was apparently live streamed, but you did have to pay for this stream, and at least there are some official clips of this stream this time. But I suspect there's probably a little more video we can get from this concert than what we see in this video. Maybe if we pay them for a VOD or something. I'm not really sure what we can do. The live stream is certainly not on sale anymore. And I did try to contact them, but I didn't do it on the exclusive Japanese email address, so naturally it didn't get through to them. It's definitely something we need to investigate further though, see if we can get any more of this. And then in 2021 the band came back to Guilty yet again to record the 30th Symphony stream. And by they, I mean everyone but Johnny, who stayed at home due to COVID. And despite my concerns about it not really being live and being done in a very studio way with many different takes and such, it is one of their best performances, in quotes, to date. And that's it, we're up to present day. Now, I did miss out a few things. For example, there was a Tokyo Game Show 2014 performance, and we did get IMAG for that, which was cool. But for the most part, that is their entire history. So, all of that footage that we're missing, it's given me so many headaches, and you know what? I think it's about time we, as Crush 40 fans, team up as one to try and retrieve this footage. Instead of just accepting we don't have it, let's try to be proactive about getting the lost media, and not reactive to when someone in this long chain of unfortunate events randomly decides to whip out the rotting away footage on their hard drive. So, what we've done is created a fan Discord server, which is a place for Crush 40 fans to come along and chat. And in there, we've set up a channel and website with a complete list of every single Crush 40 show, what footage we still need from it, what you could do to help us out in the effort, and so on. Thank you so much for watching this monster of a video. It took forever to make. Check out the Discord server to come and chat with us, and stay tuned on this channel, because if we get our hands on any new footage, this channel will hopefully be the first place it goes straight to. Oh, and leave a comment. It's always so nice to know someone actually watched the video. Bye.